Russia's top diplomat stormed out of talks with G20 foreign ministers meeting in Indonesia after Western powers criticized Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov called out Western allies for straying almost immediately away from global economic issues to frenzied criticism of his country's military incursions. Saiful Bara Ismail joins us live from Jakarta. Saiful, the meeting has wrapped up. What are some of the key takeaways?
Well, Wei Su, the G20 foreign ministers normally issue a joint statement at the end of such a meeting, but as it would be impossible for them to reach common ground, especially on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the host, Indonesia, has issued a press statement instead. Now, Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi, at the beginning of her press statement, expressed her government's deepest condolences over the death of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. She said the late Mr. Abe has served his country with dedication and will always be remembered as a prime example for all. Now, Ms. Retno said the Ukraine war was discussed at almost all bilateral meetings at the G20 event, where some participants condemned Russia's invasion and urged an immediate end to hostilities through diplomacy and talks. Ms. Retno praised her G20 counterparts for attending in person amid global tensions over the impacts of the Ukraine war. She said that she hoped participants could use the G20 meeting to build bridges, not walls, strengthen trust rather than distrust, and commit to collaborate and be part of the solution. She also said food and energy security and the reintegration of Ukraine and Russia's grain and fertilizer into supply chains was critical. Ms. Retno had called on the G20 to find a way forward to address global challenges and said the repercussions of the war, including rising energy and food prices, would hit low-income countries the hardest.
The way you are referring to all these different topics is Saiful, Ukraine clearly dominating proceedings. Now, this, of course, is a meeting for G20 foreign ministers. There's a leaders' meeting or a summit in November. What do you think is likely to happen then, given what has happened over this latest meeting?
Well, Wei Su, Indonesian President Joko Widodo has invited his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin to attend the G20 Leaders Summit in Bali in November. Mr. Putin has said that he will attend the meeting, but we don't know if he will attend in person or remotely. Now, today's foreign ministers meeting could set the scene of what to expect in November. It was already a very difficult meeting with the presence of the Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. At the G20 meeting, there were shouts of, "When will you stop the war? And why don't you stop the war?" as Mr. Lavrov shook hands with his Indonesian counterpart Retno Marsudi at the start of the meeting. Ukraine was invited by host Indonesia to attend the G20 foreign ministers meeting. Its foreign minister Dmytro Kuleba addressed the meeting virtually, saying that Russia had no place at any international gathering. He said the international community should not allow Russia to blackmail the world with high energy prices, hunger and security threats. Now, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov left the room during Mr. Kuleba's speech. There were also underlying tensions in the lead-up to the meeting. The G7 foreign ministers did not join Thursday's welcome dinner, where Mr. Lavrov was present. Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi said that as host, Indonesia understood and respected the decision. Observers said it's important for Indonesia to show effective diplomacy in dealing with such walkouts. Earlier, analysts have hoped that with the G20 Leaders Summit still some months away, there could be a chance there may be peace between the warring nations before November. However, finding a solution to the conflict is dim right now, with Mr. Putin warning of a long war and that everything is heading towards this.
Well, thanks so much for that. Saiful Bara Ismail looking back and taking us through the highlights of this G20 meeting of foreign ministers in Bali.